What if I told you some of the most unforgettable songs from the 1970s aren't remembered for the right reasons? That buried under disco lights and psychedelic vibes are tracks so bizarre, so tone-deaf, that even time tries to forget them. But the real kicker? Some of them were chart toppers. Let's dig into the musical misfires of the grooviest decade ever, the 1970s. In music, timeless classics like Sinatra's New York, New York,
New York, New York,
or the Beatles' Hey Jude, still make hearts swell and radios sing. But not all songs age like fine wine. Some rot, and when they do, they reek of cringe-worthy lyrics, awkward themes, and a complete disregard for taste. Now you may ask, what decade had the worst offenders? Arguably, the 1970s takes the crown. Let's start with the infamous Muskrat Love by Captain and Tennille.
Muskrat, muskrat, candlelights.
This 1976 oddball is quite literally a love story between two rodents. No metaphors here, just actual muskrats nibbling on bacon, chewing cheese, and getting, well, intimate. The lyrics go, muzzle to muzzle, now anything goes as they wriggle.
Muzzle to muzzle, now anything goes as they wriggle.
Picture it, two beaver-rat hybrids falling in love, set to soft synth-pop. And we're supposed to feel romantic? This wasn't clever, this wasn't quirky, it was just unsettling. Why this song ever made it to airwaves remains a mystery. Maybe the 70s were just too high on their own vibe. Then came the song that redefined vagueness, Feelings by Morris Albert.
Trying to forget my...
Specificity in songwriting is what connects us to a musician. But Morris, he went the complete opposite route, repeating the word feelings as though it alone carried the emotional weight of Shakespeare. Feelings, for all my life, I'll feel them.
Feelings, for my life I'll feel it.
He croons. But what feelings, Morris? Joy? Regret? Confusion? We never find out. The entire song floats in a sea of meaningless sentiment, dragging listeners along a current of melodramatic nothingness. And then we have Ringo Starr's 1973 hit, You're 16. At first, it might seem like an upbeat, harmless pop tune, but then you do the math. Ringo was 33 when this was released, singing about a 16-year-old girl with lines like, lips like strawberry wine, when we kissed, I could not stop. Disturbing much? And yet, it topped charts. In hindsight, the discomfort is loud and clear. The fact that this was considered acceptable speaks volumes about the era's questionable standards. What's more shocking is that it featured a cameo by none other than Harry Nilsson, who provided the backing vocals. The music video, released years later, bizarrely starred a young Carrie Fisher, which only added to the discomfort. Next on this horror show of hits, You Light Up My Life by Debbie Boone. Imagine this, the biggest hit of the 1970s wasn't from the Bee Gees or Simon and Garfunkel. It was this slow, syrupy ballad that turned boredom into melody. Boone, daughter of Pat Boone, delivered the song with the emotional intensity of a lullaby for God himself. Yes, she claimed it was about divine love. But the song's writer, Joseph Brooks, was later arrested for horrific crimes. That dark reality now forever taints this already lethargic track. What was once bland now feels downright unsettling. It became almost symbolic of how shallow sentimentality could sometimes mask deeper dysfunctions beneath. Still with me? Because things only get weirder. Rupert Holmes's Escape, the Pina Colada song,
I was tired of my lady. We'd been together too long.
from 1979, has become a cultural reference point, but for all the wrong reasons. It's about a man cheating on his partner by responding to a personal ad, only to find out it was his partner also trying to cheat. The twist? They laugh it off and fall back in love. Is that romantic? Or a red flag the size of Studio 54?
That you like pina coladas.
With lines like, if you like piña coladas and getting caught in the rain.
If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
The song celebrates deceit disguised as destiny. It's often considered kitschy and nostalgic now, but the premise is wildly problematic when you break it down. It also points to a culture that started normalizing emotional detachment under the veil of humor and escapism. Now, brace yourself for Paul Anka's nauseating ode to reproduction. You're Having My Baby.
Having my baby.
This 1974 track is less a love song and more a shrine to male ego. Rather than celebrating a mutual journey into parenthood, Anka repeatedly emphasizes possession.
Having my baby.
You're having my baby. What a lovely way of saying how much you love me.
Having my baby. What a lovely way of saying how much you love me.
Not our baby, his. He even references the seed growing inside her, making it more biology lecture than ballad. Creepy, condescending, and somehow Grammy-nominated. Shockingly, it even inspired feminist backlash at the time, being called one of the most sexist songs ever released. But Anka stood by it, insisting it was a tribute. To what exactly, we may never know. From there, we tumble into the overly suggestive and weirdly cartoonish Afternoon Delight by Starland Vocal Band.
Rockets in flight, afternoon delight.
If the title doesn't give it away, the song is about midday hookups, but it delivers this with lyrics better suited for a campfire skit than a Grammy-winning track. Rubbin' sticks and stones together makes the sparks ignite. It won Best New Artist in 1976, the same year legends like Tom Petty and the Ramones debuted. Let that sink in. The band itself was formed by real-life couples, and by the end of the decade, both couples had broken up and the group disbanded. It's almost poetic how their most famous song about fleeting passion became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now for perhaps the strangest duck in the pond. Disco Duck by Rick Dees and his cast of idiots.
Find the duck. We're getting the dial.
Yes, that's the real band name. And yes, this was a real #1 song in 1976. Meant as a parody of disco, the song featured Donald Duck-style quacking and dance instructions for a duck. It's so ridiculous. It circles back to being accidentally brilliant in its absurdity. But let's be clear, your IQ may drop a few points by the end. Rick Dees, a DJ in Memphis, reportedly got banned from playing his own song on the air due to conflict of interest, even though it was charting. Ironically, this ban only fueled the song's popularity. Go figure. And if you thought that was the worst novelty track, let me introduce you to Convoy by C.W. McCall.
Noon on the 7th of June when they highballed over the pass.
Released in 1975, this song rode the CB radio craze and told the story of a fictional trucker rebellion across the American highways. With jargon-heavy lyrics like Breaker 19 and Rubber Duck, it was less a song and more a trucker-themed fever dream. Yet it somehow hit #1 in the US and inspired a film adaptation. Yes, a movie. All from a song about truckers yelling into radios. Then there was One Tin Soldier by Coven.
One tin soldier rides away.
A seemingly peaceful anti-war song, its chorus was uplifting, but its delivery and bizarrely cheery melody made it feel more like a children's sing-along than a protest anthem. The song tells the story of a massacre driven by greed, ending with the twist that the treasure everyone for was simply the words, "Peace on Earth." It's deep, it's dark, but its bubblegum presentation undermines the very message it tries to preach. So why did these songs even succeed? Maybe the 70s were an era of musical experimentation gone haywire. Maybe audiences were just too distracted by bell-bottoms and roller discos. Or maybe, just maybe, these songs offered a strange escape from reality, one bizarre lyric at a time. Whatever the reason, they live on as musical artifacts, proof that not everything from a golden age turns to gold. Which of these songs made you cringe? Did we miss a truly terrible track that haunts your ears to this day? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're always listening. unlike some of these artists, apparently. And hey, if you enjoyed this wild ride through the musical missteps of the 1970s, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more deep dives into the legends, the disasters, and everything in between. This is Decade Legend. Thanks for watching. Now go cleanse your palate with some Led Zeppelin or Carole King. Trust us, you'll need it.